Good evening, Lashna Tova. Happy Rosh Hashanah, happy Labor Day, and we are back. Welcome back. I know you were going to go live yesterday, but I feel like I wanted to let everybody enjoy a day off, a holiday, and we are
Yeah.
back once again for episode 127 of the Below the Yellow Line podcast. I'm your host, Joe Laney Pavlon. Alongside me, I have my colleague, Justin Everett, co
Yep.
host
Yep.
podcast, and we got a lot of racing to cover. There's just a plethora of action that we're going to really break down for all you guys through this Labor Day weekend, and I think the NASCAR playoffs being back, it's a huge deal for NASCAR. The Darlington race, of course, the Southern 500 at Darlington, 72nd running of the event, really came down to a sprint race to the end. It almost felt like between two of the best drivers all year long, Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson. And of course, Denny finally getting a win in 2021, despite having his best statistical year yet, being just scoreless on wins. He finally gets one, and this might be the one that matters a lot now. It might alleviate a lot of pressure out of him. We're going to talk about Max Verstappen's seamless Grand Prix, the Dutch Grand Prix, his first race in the Netherlands for Formula One since 1985. It's been 36 long years. But we finally got to see the Formula One cars back at Zandvoort. We'll break that down for you. And then, of course, we'll break down the sports car racing scene because we get endurance sports car racing for the first time since the 24 Hours of Le Mans. And that is something on itself to look at. We will do so later in the podcast. We'll get started with the NASCAR Cup Series, as we always do for this episode. For these podcast episodes, we'll start off with the Southern 500 and Denny Hamlin taking the win. This is his third Southern 500 win, Denny Hamlin's career. And by the looks of how his momentum has flown, it is certainly heading towards the right direction, Justin, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been. Yeah, Hamlin. Yeah, with that win, it's going to give him more momentum heading into Richmond and Bristol. It's going to give him momentum, which really helps him to get momentum.
And speaking of momentum, that's exactly what you need because if you're a Hamlin fan, you're excited for Richmond. This is home track. He's going to have a lot of people supporting him for this event. And then Bristol's another track where he excels in. Short tracks really favor Denny because he has grown up in the short track racing scenes from his hometown in Virginia. And we're going to really find his truest sound on the track. It'll be fun to watch, especially when it comes to racing guys like Kyle Larson, Martin Truex Jr., and more. I think the Penske guys have a little work to do after this race. We're going to talk about them in a minute, but let's talk about the race first and foremost. So Denny Hamlin, he won stage one. He led 146 laps of this event, started second for his 45th career Cup Series win. I talked a lot about Hamlin possibly reaching win number 50 going into the year. While he performed very well, much better than last year in the regular season, he still could not find victory lane all this time. And if he did win like he did last year, we might be talking about win 50, but right now he's got a championship to fight for. He's worked so hard in his Cup Series career. One team, one sponsor, one car owner. Joe Gibbs Racing, 11 FedEx. His entire career has been either going for the championship or suffering an injury. And this year might be his best chance yet. And we said this in the last 2 years. 2018, I'd say aside from 2018, 2017, 2019, 2020, and here in 2021, we're back in this discussion again about Denny Hamlin finally breaking through for his first championship. He's won 3 out of the last 5 Daytona 500s. And if that doesn't say Hall of Fame stats, I don't know what does. He's an incredible driver, and the way he held off Kyle Larson in this event tells me that Larson's really going to get a challenge on his hands for the next few races or rounds in this championship. This is the first race of round of 16.
Yeah, but Darlington, it suits more Hamlin than Larson, but there's other tracks that suit Larson more. There's many tracks like Las Vegas where if Larson's up high, like at some tracks like Bristol, Kyle Larson on the outside sometimes it's like he just gets runs. So it's going to be tough for Hamlin too compared to some races where Larson is just rim riding the wall and just up high and just like like Las Vegas, his first win of the season. Larson was up high most of the race, and he was fast. Like, it's going to be tough between Hamlin and Larson. They're just both fast every week. They have, like, good races. Like, both their cars are good. Some of their teammates didn't do too well at Darlington. Some of the Hendrick cars and some of the Gibbs cars, too.
Yeah, I mean, this was a round of 16, so of course we're going to have 16 drivers, 16 chances of seeing drivers make mistakes and having problems. Let's continue on the race. Kyle Larson led the most laps at 156. He won stage 2, started 6. He came up just shy of Denny Hamlin, gave it all. Wrecked a good race car in the process.
Well, remember what Kyle Larson did? He hit the wall. Do you want to know what he said? I tried to play a video game. Like, you know, there's sometimes in NASCAR Thunder you do the wall pop by hitting the wall. Larson tried that, but no, it did not work. It's like Carl Edwards. Remember when Edwards tried it in 08 at Kansas? That really did not work, and Jimmy Johnson got the win. Yeah, there's always those types.
Video game moves do not work in real life.
No, it's not the same physics like in video games.
Right. But that was a fun maneuver. You see that he was so close regardless.
Oh yeah.
That itself explains how incredible Kyle Larson is of a driver. Let's talk about the guy that Kyle Larson used to drive for, that who drives in his car that he drove in the last Southern 500 Larson race in 2019. Of course, that was Ross Chastain for Chip Ganassi Racing in their final Southern 500. We know they want to win so badly. They got one with Kurt Busch.
But Ross,
another one would be really good, especially for Ross and the 42 team.
Like Ross Chastain, I know he led one lap in the race, but he came out, if there was no cautions. Remember, he came out of the pit stop sequence before Hamlin pit. If Hamlin would have pit, everything was cycled out without the yellow. Ross would have been the leader because he beat Larson off pit road, and which was impressive that he beat Kyle Larson off pit road, and he was fast. Ross was a good car.
He put out some great laps, and Trackhouse should be excited for him and this crew that they're bringing along. Yeah, and, this is going to be an exciting moment for Ross Chastain fans because he's got a bright future. We'll talk about the other drivers here. Kevin Harvick led 20 laps. He started 9th. I think
Harvick. Where did Truex finish? I thought
Truex led 1 lap. Yeah, he started 10th. I want to talk about Harvick first and then Truex second because Kevin Harvick, he's right now carrying the entire Stewart-Haas team under his shoulders, under his wing, and what is he now? Mid to late 40s. Kevin's not going to be here forever. In this kind of, prime. And I know for sure after last year, his prime might be in the past, but he's making the most out of what he's got. And one thing about Kevin Harvick is he never quits when push comes to shove. No. He always stays in the fight and has a huge backbone on the racetrack. You could just see by his driving style, he knows how to get the job done. And leading 20 laps, I had a feeling, you know what? I would have been surprised. I was surprised that Kevin Harvick didn't win. I thought this could be his best chance. He still has 2 great tracks up ahead. He won the last race at Bristol. So let's think about that for a minute. Richmond's another great circuit for Kevin Harvick. We've seen him succeed there in the past. But a great way to start for a driver who has bare minimum in bonus points.
Well, remember, you do remember Harvick swept Richmond in 2006 when he drove for RCR, so he is good there. I've seen him run good. The reason I remember about 2006, Bill Weber said Bristol by accident instead of Richmond. But, Harvick's good at Richmond, but it's like I feel like Harvick, I don't know. It's like Stewart-Haas has been struggling, like not just Harvick. Almirola, Custer, and Briscoe. I know Briscoe's a rookie, but Custer's been struggling, which Custer is still 28th in the standings behind Eric Jones and other people that are new teams. Custer's 28th ahead of LaJoy and Alfredo and Josh Malicki and the GOAT Quinn Houff. But, the Stewart-Haas, they just been struggling this year. Don't know what it is. They just hopefully Stewart-Haas has more better luck in 2021 or we're 2022. I forgot that we're 2021. I don't know why.
We're almost there.
Yeah,
hopefully Jr. If there was a driver they were in NASCAR, I'd give it to him.
Yeah. Yeah, he got a penalty. He took new tires, and he was a few seconds faster.
He spent most of the race a lap down.
Yeah, he was in the back most of the race and came
Trying
back.
to catch up.
Yeah, on that 19 car, and he did really good.
That speaks volumes for how well Martin Truex Jr. drives.
Oh, come on, Boston. When do they have the wild card for the American League ahead of Toronto Blue Jays? Yeah, right now the Rays are playing the Blue Jays on Bally Sports on Bally Sport.
The Rays are playing the Red Sox right now.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
Not the Jays.
But I mean, like, the Jays are behind in the wild card.
Yeah, it's
but Boston is ahead.
Close.
Oh, come on. But
yeah,
baseball.
World baseball media.
But yeah, Truex had a good, like, he started out, like, he wasn't doing good. I saw him most in the 20s, and then he rebounded to get a good, solid top 5 finish with a 4th in that 19 car. Impressive.
All right, Kurt Busch led 13 laps. He started 30, brought the car home in 6. A great effort all around for Truck Racing. They should all be proud. Brad Keselowski, he's got to work a little harder this year in the playoffs to have a good outing, as is Joey Logano. 7th and 8th for both of those drivers. 9th place went to Chris Buescher and Austin Dillon running out the top 10.
Yeah, Chris Buescher, solid run for Roush.
Yep,
after
Fords.
Yep.
Let's continue on here. Now I'm going to highlight the playoff drivers and a few others. Most of them, the playoff drivers. I will highlight all the playoff drivers and the results for these races.
Yeah.
16th place, Eric Almirola started 8th. You might need to work a little harder. Tyler Reddick, same could be said for him too. He started 7th, finished 18th. Christopher Bell led 10 laps. But it's a 500-mile race, and I think he was reminded by that when he finished 20th.
Well, remember what happened. He did get in the Chase Elliott with Bubba. They went 3 wide, squeezed Chase Elliott in the wall and blew his left front, and people were mad, but that's racing.
Everybody was looking at the Xfinity race saying, hey, anything you can do, I can do better. I'll just go 3 wide at Darlington, or even 4. I don't know what those Xfinity guys were doing on Saturday, but it was wild.
Yeah, it was. But after Bell, we had
Ryan Blaney led 17 laps, started first. This is not the 22nd place finish he needed. This is a year that Ryan Blaney's team could turn stuff around, and that's a bad way to start.
But 26th place, Alex Bowman.
He had a struggling
left front
to finish, tire problems.
And do you know who clipped him? His teammate, William Byron, clipped him in the left rear, and he just had issues. He started P5. His car was not handling well too good, and people thought actually it was Jimmy Johnson behind the wheel. I don't know. Some person said,
we've been racing with Alex Bowman in the 48 for almost an entire year. How did you not get that right?
I don't know. Some people still think it's Jimmy Johnson in the car. It's like,
hopefully we see him drive like Jimmy Johnson. But get the results though.
But we have Richmond, which he won last time, and Bristol, which he's decent at. But he's 13th in the points. Yep. But after him.
Continue on, Joey Gaze, a non-playoff driver. He led 1 lap. Yes, Joey Gaze was on our podcast before.
Yeah.
Started 35th, brought home into the 29th place finish. Not a bad run for a Rick Ware car.
Yeah, driving the 15. He's back in that car this weekend at Richmond.
Great for Joey Gaze.
Yeah.
31st place, an unfortunate retirement for Chase Elliott. 32nd place, the 2019 champion of this event. Eric Jones led 2 laps, started 22nd. Engine failure put him out in 32nd. Retirements for William Byron, Kyle Busch, and Michael McDowell from crashes.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, these are drivers. I'd say Byron and Kyle Busch, as well as Chase Elliott. These are drivers that cannot afford poor races. And we're going to talk about the playoff standings in a minute.
But like, Kyle Busch
was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
But also, Kyle Busch in his interview, instead of saying Austin Dillon's fault, he said, if you run like, he said the S word, if you don't know what that is.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and Kyle Busch said, if you run like that, we deserve to be put in the wall. Michael McDowell got turned on the back straightaway early.
Got a chance to run the race at its fullest.
Byron had a tire going down and hit the wall.
Let's break down the playoffs for you. So remember how the seeding for each round begins with everybody getting at the same number of 1,000 in points plus the amount of bonus points. That's where you're
Yeah.
placed. So the bonus points really do matter. It depends where you are, if you're going to be saved by it or not. And it doesn't mean that you are going to be safe. It takes one bad race to put you down in the standings. Denny Hamlin, so with his win, he's advanced to the next round. Now we go down to Kyle Larson. He's 80 above the cut line at 2106 points.
Yeah.
Martin Truex Jr. plus 36, 2062 points. It gets a little tight down here.
Yeah.
Kurt Busch plus 26, 2052 points. Ryan Blaney is 5th plus 22. Cut line. Joey Logano is 6th plus 21. Kevin Harvick really jumped up and shook up the standings here with the 7th place points position, plus 20 above the cut line. Brad Keselowski, 8th plus 12. Christopher Bell, plus 5. And this gets very tight here. Chase Elliott, plus 4. Eric Almirola, plus 3. And then the cut line is literally plus minus 0. Reddick would be placed above.
Come on. Why?
Kyle Busch is only 2 behind the cut line, which is occupied by 3 drivers almost. William Byron, 9 behind the cut line, and Michael McDowell, 20 behind the cut line. This is very close. Even last year and 2 years ago, the first round. Usually we have a one-sided cut line in the first round because your one-hit wonder winners of the season, they are usually the first ones out or about to be out.
If I just realized if Reddick would have finished worse than he finished, he would have actually would be below. Bowman would be up if he finished worse than where he finished. But it's close, heading into Richmond, which is also a short track. That means a beating and banging, same as Bristol. Tempers are gonna flare, possibly. You do know. Short track racing, plus it's not daytime, remember, at Richmond. It's nighttime this time.
Saturday night?
Yep, Saturday night racing. It's gonna.
Saturday night's all right for fighting.
It's gonna be, physical. Drivers are gonna move each other out the way because positions do matter at short tracks. But it was an interesting race at Darlington. But we also had the Xfinity race. That was even interesting at Darlington for the Xfinity Series, which had a 200-mile event on Saturday.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about what happened on Saturday. Yes, let's move on to that discussion.
Yeah.
NASCAR Xfinity Series. Now, unlike the Cup Series, we had 2 Darlington 200s because the Truck Series were not able to go to Motorsport, so they ran another 200-mile race at Darlington, accompanying the Cup race for this weekend. As for the Xfinity Series, and I'm sure a lot of the guys that do not like the road courses, they took a sigh of relief for this one. And the guys that needed the road courses for their help, they're shaking their heads. Now, for the Xfinity guys, the veterans were licking their chops going into Darlington.
Yeah.
Guess who won that race? Not a veteran.
No, Noah Gragson, his second full-time season. No, third full-time season. Yeah, he got his 3rd career win at Darlington, which I did not expect him to win here.
It was not his race to win until the end.
But he still led a decent amount of laps. He led 40 laps, which is he had a good car.
Stage 2 win.
Yeah, he led 40 laps, which was impressive. He did really good for his team, for Junior Motorsports. And that 9 team this is their first win of the season, this 9 team. Gragson's first win this season. It took a while because his last win was Bristol. The spring race at Bristol last year was his only win last year. So it was a while.
He really had a lot more wins that could have. You just got just look at Darren Hummer. You got to finish the race to win.
Yeah.
Let's move on though. A great effort for Noah Gragson, Junior Motorsports, to do sweep the Darlington.
Won race 1, but second place so close. Harrison Byrne. Well, remember Harrison Byrne when he finished?
He needed another lap to get to Gragson, didn't he?
Yep. But Harrison Byrne, remember, he actually won over Gragson at Texas last year in the fall. Remember that finish?
Last-ditch effort.
Yeah, that was close to be the same thing, but except Gragson held off. But it was still good for Harrison. Good amount of points for him.
Austin Cindric gained back once more. However, he's got to do a little more work for this regular season championship. And it might be down to the experience in these next 2 races.
Well, he's only 1 point behind.
That's what I'm saying. It's super close, but
Yeah, we
There's
got
no
Richmond.
guarantees.
Yeah,
Short
yeah,
tracks.
yeah, Richmond, Bristol, but yeah, Cindric had a good race, solid.
Justin Haley led 4 laps, started third, finished fourth in his colleague racing Chevrolet. Fifth place, Jeb Burton started and finished fifth. Justin Allgaier, who won earlier this year at Darlington, led 19 laps, started fourth, and finished in sixth place. Seventh place, Tyler Reddick started in the 28th spot. Jeremy Clements, a 15th place start, an 8th place finish. Mike Snyder started and finished 9th, and Alex LeBay rounded out the top 10. Denny Hamlin led 43 laps, started 14th. He finished 12th, and it might have been a win for him. Another one. This is statistically his best track. How about Mason Massey, 18th place, a career best finish. He started 26th. AJ Allmendinger led 24 laps from the second place starting spot. He finished 20th. Another bad ending went to Daniel Hemrick, who started fourth, led 18 laps, won the first stage, and brought it home in 24th. And Timmy Hill, who led 3 laps, had a bad restart.
And something broke on the car.
36th place for Timmy Hill.
Yep, but Timmy Hill, like, he had something broke, but also there was interesting moments when, remember Tommy Joe Martins blew an engine? He was hanging down pit road. Herbst couldn't see anything. Like, Tommy Joe, people told him to stay up high, but he was going to pit road because, he blew an engine. Herbst didn't know he was blowing up because he was behind Brandon Brown, so he couldn't see until too late. Too late. Herbst hit the rear of Martins, which people blame Martins, but Martins was heading to the pits with a blown motor. No, Herbst couldn't see because of Brandon Brown, and
not what Riley Herbst needed.
No, Tommy Joe, the reason that he was going down was to head to the pits with the blown motor.
And entering the pits here, it's a tough task. Even if you have a really good car. Let's talk about the playoff standings because we have 2 races left in the regular season. And I just want to let you know what the grid would look like if it were to end now. Now, unlike the Cup Series and definitely unlike the Truck Series, it's a much more mellow to get in than it is due to the disparity of equipment that the guys are running or lack of experience. Let's take a look at what we have and who's able to make the playoffs. I have a total of 18 drivers that are listed on that list. Austin Cindric, he's in 5 wins. AJ Allmendinger, 3 wins. Justin Allgaier, 2 wins. These drivers are in by having 1 win. Justin Haley, Noah Gragson, Jeb Burton, and Mike Snyder. 2 drivers are in by points, Daniel Hemrick and Harrison Burton. Now, not in yet, but could very well lock in after this next race. Would be Jeremy Clements plus 78, Brandon Jones plus 65, Riley Herbst plus 46, and I believe those 2 could very well lock in if the numbers stay like that at the end of next race, if they're over a race lane in points.
Yeah, because the person underneath is Michael Annett in the 1. He did miss a few races. That's why he's underneath.
Minus 46. That's a tall order based off points. He might just have to win it outright. As for the guys behind him, Ryan Sieg minus 84, Brandon Brown minus 103, Tommy Joe Martins minus 173, Josh Williams minus 177, and Lenny Castle minus 178. Pretty much almost the only exception for pointing in would be a very, very rare case of Michael Annett. The rest would have to just win outright somehow, some way.
Yeah, because for Xfinity and trucks, it's not like Cup, which you got to be in top 30. You got to be top 20 in points to be locked in if you win. So if you're in
the disparity of equipment.
Yeah, it all depends how your equipment is. If you have not the best equipment, it's tough. But if you have good equipment, decent equipment, you have a shot.
One name that not a lot of people were expecting to see behind the cut line was Ryan Sieg, but I think he's had a struggling time working with the new Fords.
Ford, it's been a struggle for him this year. Like, there's some races where he's not been doing too well. Like, remember the race at the Indy GP? Remember how he spun a few times and then he blew a tire and then the carcass fell off and then part of the rear fell off? Like, that was all in the first and second stages, so it didn't last long compared to, so there's some races where Sieg's not having any luck.
Very unfortunate. All right, now we're going to talk about the NASCAR Truck Series, the median to their round of 10 in the playoffs. And once more, another Sheldon Creed show. The showstopper puts on another show-stopping race.
Yeah,
Track too tough to tame.
Yeah, he dominated at Gateway. This time he's dominates at Darlington.
And he made it look easy, led 104 laps, won stage 2, started from the pole, and he brought it home for his 8th career win. The defending champion is starting to really get into the skin of John Hunter Nemechek in terms of his run for the championship. And John Hunter Nemechek, he did everything he could. He won stage 1, led 39 laps, started 6th, brought his Kyle Busch owned Toyota in 2nd. Speaking of Toyotas, we had Stuart Friesen have a very solid run to 3rd. He's going to need those runs going into this next round for sure. There's one more race, of course, after that, which is Bristol. Todd Gilliland, P4, highest Ford on the grid. He started in 8th. How about Parker Kligerman? Give him Driver of the Day award. He started 34th place. Yeah, that's a pretty far way from the back to get to the front, driving the Henderson Chevrolet.
Yeah.
And guess what? Yes, let's not forget, he won the Talladega 250 for that team 4 years ago.
Yep, in the Henderson Motorsports number 75. Yeah, solid run for Kligerman. Every time I've seen Kligerman run that truck, he does solid for driving a truck.
He's the epitome of a serviceable driver.
Yeah, he's really doing good in that truck. Like, even non-plate tracks, that team does good with Kligerman in the truck.
That's for sure. Let's go down the order. Grant Enfinger, another solid run for the ARCA champion. Started 12th, finished 6 spots higher in the 6th place spot. Chandler Smith led 4 laps. He really wish he could have done better than he did. If the race had more laps, he might have climbed further and maybe a top 5 finish for him. He started 9th, finished in 7th, led 4 laps. Veterans do well here. Johnny Sauter, 8th place run. Zane Smith, playoff driver, finished 9th. And Matt Crafton, looking to become the 2nd ever 4-time champion in the history of the Truck Series, rounded out the top 10. Let's list out some other names. Carson Hocevar,
11.
He really wished it would have been a repeat of earlier this year.
Yeah, where he got a solid finish.
Yeah, Hocevar started 5th. Austin Hill, 12th.
Oh, he struggled.
He started 7th. How about Colby Howard?
His first
career best finish of 13th, driving for Cody Warbaugh's team.
And also, that was actually his first truck start. He never made a truck start.
No, that's his first start since 2019.
What team did he drive for in 2019?
He drove, I believe it was for...
I'm
pulling it up right now. I have it in hand. His 2 starts were with the Young's Motorsports team.
Yeah.
Dixon Homestead, the last 2 races of the year. Maybe he was going to run for a full-time effort.
But still, solid finish for him. And he also spun at one point. He managed to get a top.
Yes, I remember that. He had problems in the race.
Yep.
And last but not least, Ben Rhodes.
Oh.
He started 3rd. Was 7 laps behind the leader.
Yeah, he
at
did.
The end of the race. He had problems, but he still managed to finish the event. But it was a 34th place finish.
Yeah, he got damaged after an accident. Him, Ryan Truex, and Jack Wood. No, that was not Ryan Truex. It was Jack Wood and Chris Wright. They squeezed each other 3 wide and spun. Yeah, so they squeezed into each other and crashed. That's why Rhodes finished back there, which is really sucks for Ben Rhodes and that 99 team. They have to rebound now because I know they had a good race at Gateway, but with this race, it's going to be close going to Bristol. It's the next race, and that track, there's going to be definitely some contact because Bristol, there's always chance for some contact there, so it's going to be interesting to see how Bristol goes. But the points are close.
Yeah, of course. That's 2 weeks' time. We'll be at Bristol to finish out the first round, the round of 10. We'll find out who our round of 8 drivers will be in terms of seeding. One more race to go. Sheldon Creed and John Hunter Nemechek are in based off virtue winning for Creed 2 wins in the round. John Hunter Nemechek, based off of the points he's got, he's good to go, worry free for Bristol. Matt Crafton is 3rd. He's 35 points above the cut line. Stuart Friesen is plus 33. Ben Rhodes, plus 15. This is where it starts to get tight. It's really a game of musical chairs to think about it.
Yeah.
In that way. Todd Gilliland, plus 11. Carson Hocevar, plus 8. Austin Hill, plus 5. Zane Smith, minus 5. And Chandler Smith, minus 12.
Wow.
So, two guys go home. This Bristol race is competitive. We usually have a lot of different entries.
But there's still 40 is the limit, so there might
just don't know who's in the trucks for those.
Yeah, well,
it's gonna be competitive.
Yeah, we know we already know that the full-time drivers. We know that Doug Colby, he's going to be in the GMS 24, not Jack Wood, but they're going to have Doug Colby making his first truck start in his career, which Doug Colby's experience at Bristol in the modifieds, but it's going to be interesting to see Bristol, how that goes, and Sam
Mayer is going to try to defend his win from last year.
We'll see. Maybe it'll be in Brett Holmes' 32 entry, possibly. Yeah, that race is on September 16th, which is not this Thursday, but next Thursday, the 16th, which is Thursday right after the ARCA race from there. But, yeah, it was interesting. And, yeah, we also had other races, like we had Formula One. They ran.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that right now. Let's get into this Grand Prix weekend because it was absolutely phenomenal. I call it the Max Verstappen Grand Prix. It was Max's home race.
Yep.
He put on a clinic. The place went wild. Max Verstappen led 64 laps, picked up his 10th career pole, his 17th career win, and his 52nd career podium. Or should I say, 52nd.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a brilliant run for Max. An incredible drive at Zandvoort. A track he's probably turned more laps in than anywhere else in the Grand Prix world. And this was, listen, Hamilton had his moment in the spotlight at Britain.
Well,
now Max got his moment in the spotlight at Dutch.
Well, what's next? With Italy's Giovinazzi going to win? Well, it's the Italian Grand Prix, or is Ferrari actually going to do better? Not like last year when Ferrari was embarrassing. Well, remember what happened?
Return of the Tifosi.
Well, remember what happened last year with Ferrari? Vettel blew his brakes at Italy and Leclerc in the barrier, and Max just dominated, led 64 of 72 laps, dominated. Lewis Hamilton tried everything. He got second again in that Mercedes. Yeah, Lewis Hamilton, second place. He led no laps, but he still finished second with the fastest
lap.
Yep, so that's a
175th time on the podium.
Yep, and his
teammate. I wonder if he'll ever reach 200 on
that. He could. Well, there's this season and next season. Remember, next season, Mercedes might be dominant again somehow. If they
might not. We'll see. Valerie Bottas led 8 laps. Now, Bottas started third. He got his 63rd career podium, but now we know where he's going next year.
Yeah, but we did put on the Twitter where he's going. So if you don't see the Twitter, you probably heard that he is moving to Alfa Romeo, replacing Kimi Räikkönen. We don't know who his teammate is yet. Could be Gio if he returns, or people are saying Kalamila. I don't know. We'll see who replaces him. But, good podium for Valtteri. Valtteri, good podium for him. But people are saying about Toto saying abort the fastest lap. Oh, jeez, I remember the team radio.
I'm kind of glad Valerie held his ground on that.
But ended up Lewis pitting for fresh tires, and he took the fastest lap away because he took it away. But fourth place, who finished fourth?
Gasly.
Oh yeah,
he had a solid race.
Yep, which he is going to be returning. Him and Tsunoda returning to AlphaTauri next season. Which Pierre Gasly, he's been fast this season. Like, I know Red Bull, he struggled, but AlphaTauri, he's doing good for them. Like, He has chances for podiums. He gets points. He's so consistent in this car. The only time he doesn't get points mostly is bad races or failures. Other than that, he's in the points a lot, which really helps the team in constructors.
Yep. Fifth place, Charles Leclerc. Sorry, finished fifth. Sixth place, Fernando Alonso.
Yep.
Ninth place starting spot for him. Carlos Sainz Jr. makes it a double points effort for Ferrari. He finished seventh.
Yep.
Sergio Perez. Oh boy, he got driver. He started for the pit lane in 20th. A points finish for Checo.
Yeah.
Red Bull double points.
Yep.
Esteban Ocon Alpine double points. He started in 8th, and Lando Norris rounded out the top 10.
Yep.
He got the final point.
Yeah. Yeah. And if people didn't know, Robert Kubica was in the replacing Raikkonen. He was in the race.
Yep. Danny Ricciardo out of the points. That was a bummer for him.
Yeah.
He needed some to catch up in the championship. Lance Stroll started and finished 12th. Sebastian Vettel 13th. Antonio Giovinazzi 14th. He started 7th, his best ever start in a Formula One Grand Prix. And then Robert Kubica's first start since the 2019 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, filling in for the COVID sideline. Kimi Raikkonen, of course, we now learn that Kimi Raikkonen, the 2007 Formula One World Champion, the Finn, will retire. He will hang up his helmet and his fire suit at the end of the year.
Yep.
Nicholas Latifi started 19th. He brought it home in the 16th spot. George Russell, he failed to finish the race, but was classified after completing 90% of the race distance. 69th lap, he had a gearbox failure.
And still finished ahead of Mick Schumacher, who actually still was on the track, which is kind of sad that a Haas car that was still on the track failed to finish ahead of a car that retired. Haas. Yeah, Yuki Tsunoda finished 19th behind Mick Schumacher. Tsunoda had an engine failure on the 48th lap. And last place, Nikita Mazepin with a hydraulic issue. Yeah, those were the only two retirements. And yeah, Mick Schumacher finished behind a car that was retired. Haas is still.
All right, let's take a look at the World Championship standings now. The World Drivers' Championship has changed. Max Verstappen is the World Championship leader. He's got 3 points over Lewis Hamilton. 224.5 points for Verstappen, 221.5 points for Hamilton.
That's
3 point difference.
Oof.
Very, very close in the Drivers' Championship. Now, third place all the way back with 123 points is Valtteri Bottas.
Yeah,
he's taken that over Lando Norris, who's at 114 points. Sergio Perez is 5th with 108 points. Charles Leclerc is 6th with 92 points. 7th place with 89.5 points is Carlos Sainz Jr. Good run for the Ferraris. Pierre Gasly in 8th with 66 points. With 56 points in 9th is Danny Ricciardo. And 10th place in the World Drivers' Championship is Fernando Alonso.
With 46 points.
Now in the World Constructors' Championship,
Mercedes.
It's still Mercedes. Mercedes has 344.5 points.
To Red Bull's 332.5, which is 12 points, which is close.
Ferrari is third in the World Constructors' Championship with 181.5 points.
Yep.
McLaren Mercedes in 4th with 170 points. Alpine Renault in 5th with 90 points. In 6th place, AlphaTauri Honda, 84 points. 7th place. Aston Martin Racing Mercedes, 53 points. In 8th place, Williams Mercedes with 20 points. 9th place, Alfa Romeo Racing Ferrari with 3 points. And in 10th is Haas Ferrari with 0 points.
They're still there in last, just chilling back there. But which do you know what was funny about the weekend? I remember, during like F1, like the pre-race show, Grand Prix Sunday, they show where the teammates qualified. It said 7th for Giovinazzi. Do you want to know what it said for Robert Kubica where he qualified? It said 88th, which is this car number. I'm like, you can't qualify 88th. There's only 20 spots, which, they put his car number instead of the position. I'm like 88th. Wow, never knew you could qualify 88th in an F1 race, but
Right.
it was interesting.
Yeah. We're
Uh,
gonna discuss more F1 when we talk about the Italian Grand Prix from Monza.
But also, if people didn't hear, George Russell is going to Mercedes, replacing
Valtteri. I didn't have
Valtteri.
to tell you to
But it was interesting. I knew that I was going to happen eventually.
I knew right away when Bottas signed with Alfa Romeo who was going to Mercedes.
Yeah, which Russell's been strong in a Williams, and he showed how fast he was in the Mercedes at the Secure Grand Prix when he beat Valtteri, who started on pole, into the corner. Like, even practice one, remember the first ever practice that George was in the Mercedes for a full weekend? He was fastest. He was fastest in all the practices.
He was flying.
Yeah, fastest in all practices, qualified second, and he had a shot to win. But it's good that he's going to be racing at Mercedes next year, but he's going to be running his Williams till the end of the season. That's going to leave a vacant seat at Williams alongside Latifi. There's hints of Albon going there. I don't know why, but we'll see who takes that Williams seat. But, yeah, next race, the Italian Grand Prix, which is this weekend, which will have sprint qualifying again.
For the second of 3 races this season.
Yeah.
Let's move on and discuss the events in the world of sports car racing. We had 2 events. We're going to talk about the GT World Challenge Europe Endurance Cup, the 3 hours of the Nürburgring.
Yeah.
And that was an absolutely interesting race. It was a quick race compared to the 24 hours of Barcelona in the 24H series, but
yeah,
I'm gonna pull up the results and give you the rundown. It was the 4th of 5th races of the GT World Challenge Europe Endurance Cup, which of course is part of the SRO Group GT World Challenge Europe Overall Championship and the Sprint Championship, but of course we cover the Endurance Cup, so let's bring that up. Classification. All right, perfect. So, Lamborghini took this race by storm, and I really not think it was going to be their race until we saw them qualifying. When I think it was Mapelli that put out the lap time, but it was fast. And the FFF Racing Team Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo, Marco Mapelli, Andrea Caldarelli, and Mirko Bortolotti, all Italian linemen, an all Italian team or an all Italian car, win outright in the 3 hours of the Nürburgring and the Grand Prix circuit. Brilliant stuff. However, Mercedes rounded out the overall podium. The ACA ASP number 88 Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo. So yeah, car 88.
Yeah.
With Daniel Hocadella, Rafael Marcello, and Jules Gugnon. 3rd place, number 4 HRT Mercedes. The Haupt Racing Team Mercedes of Nico Bastian, Lucas Stoles, and Mauro Engel. The factory lineup. Brilliant run for them. 4th place and 5th place, we had the 2 Emil Fire Racing Lamborghinis. It was the 163 car, Norbert Sidler, Albert Costa, and Giacomo Altoe. 3 drivers you may need to hear a little more about. And then, of course, the 114 Lamborghini.
That car.
Of Arthur Rougier, Constantino Lapalainen, and Luca Giotto. Now, that was to be Aiken's ride, but he is still recovering.
Yeah, that car was.
Injury.
Yeah, he was. That was the car that crashed that spot, that 114 entry. Just so the Rays are winning 3-0. I thought it said 8-0 at first, but no, 3-0 in the bottom of the second.
All right, so now let's talk about the Silver Cup. The Silver Cup winner finished 8th overall. It was the number 14 Emil Fry Racing. Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo of Alex Fontana, Rolf Einigen, and Ricardo Feller. 2nd place, finishing 9th overall, was the number 99 Attempto Racing Audi R8 LMS GT3 Evo, car 99. was driven by Max Hofer, Dennis Marshall, and Alex Aka in that Audi. Third place was the number 7 Tuck Sport WRT Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo, rounding out the class podium. Was the number 7 with Paul Petit, Oscar Tuno, and Marvin Distant. So those were your drivers in that one. And I was about to say Axel Jeffries, but Axel Jeffries, he was not in this event. So 30 Audi, Team WRT, 4th in class, and 5th in class was the number 5 HRT Mercedes. In the Pro-Am Cup, it was won by the number 19 FFF Racing Team Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo of Phil Keen, Stefano Constantini, and the what's the other car? Oh, the other driver, Hiroshi Hamaguchi. So yes, that was your lineup for the Pro-Am Cup winner. Now, second in class was the Tempesta Racing number 93 Ferrari 488 GT3 Evo. Sky Tempesta Racing. It's actually sponsored by Sky, the channel.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we had Reno Mastronardi, Jonathan Hui, and Chris Frogat. And then third in class was the 69 Ram Racing Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo of Rob Collard, Stam DeHaan, and Fabian Schiller. Fourth place in class is the number 77 Barwell Motorsport Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo, and fifth place in class is the number 97 Oman Racing Team Aston Martin Vantage AMR GT3. So one more race to go, and that, of course, is the 3 hours of Barcelona to put a punctuation on the 2021 GT Challenge Europe Endurance Cup. And yes, 3 hours of Barcelona. Well, we had the 24 hours of Barcelona. How about the 24-hour race of Barcelona for the 24H Series? This, of course, coming for round 5 of 7. Remember, these are both first-time races since Le Mans. So for round 5 of 7. And overall, when we're going to talk about all the categories, the overall victor for this class, and it was Porsche once again. Porsche win outright. They are 5 for 5 perfect in 2021 for the 24H Series. And you know what? They earned this one. 1-2 finish for Herbert Motorsport. We had the 91 car finish completing 695 laps. We almost hit 700 this year. That was not meant to be with all the Code 60s we had. But it was number 91 of Alfred and Robert Renauer, Ralph Bone, and Daniel Alleman taking the overall victory. 6 laps behind was the teammates to the 91. 92 Herbert Motorsport Porsche 911 GT3R, Bobby Gonzalez, Joran Herrig, Wolfgang Triller, and Marco Seefried. Third place in the overall podium was the number 18 Ronick Racing by TECE Audi R8 LMS GT3 Evo with drivers Michael Doppelmayr, Elia Earhart, Sven Herberger, and Pierre Kaffer, longtime Audi factory support driver. Now, fourth place in class was actually the 17 IDEX Sport Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo of Paul-Loup Chatin, Patrice and Paul Lafrogue, and Nicholas Mignonson. And let's talk about fifth place overall real quick. It was the number 500 car collection motorsport Audi R8 LMS GT3 Evo 2. It's a brand new model of the Audi, so they were in their own class. Fifth place overall was the class winner and the only entry for that one, which was the number 500 car collection motorsport Audi R8 LMS GT3 Evo 2. Nathaniel Berthon, Krister Jones, Martin Lechman, and Patrick Niederhauser. Now let's move on to fifth in class. Before we move on to the other categories, we had the number 34 car collection motorsport Audi R8 LMS GT3 Evo of Stefan Aust, Gustav Edelhoff, Elmar Grimm, Johannes Kirchhoff, and Max Edelhoff. 22 laps behind the overall winners. Now let's move on to the GTX class, the more custom-centered GT category, and that was won. And how about this? We had KTM's finishing first and second, and you're going to like this, guys. Listen to this. Seventh overall, we had the finishing car completing 6.66 on the lap.
Wow.
Yes, we had Horst Febbelmeyer Jr., Ike Angermeyer, and Matt Seelhog in the number 724. Ryder Engineering KTM Crossbow GTX Concept, finishing 7th overall. Second place in class was the number 716 True Racing KTM Crossbow, finishing 10th overall with Renat Koffler, Peter Cox, Ferdinand Stuck, and yes, Miguel Oliveira.
Yep.
The MotoGP sensation. His major four-wheel racing debut. Finishing a second in class. Now, that's a good way to start. Maybe you'll give more endurance races a chance. Third place in class was the number 999 Red Camel Jordans.nl with Evo, Luke, and Rick Breukers. Porsche 992 GT3 Cup. Remember, it's not homologated yet to join the 991 Cup class, which I believe it's supposed to be 992 next year. We'll see what happens. But yeah, a good effort for them. Fourth place was another KTM Crossbow. It was the 717 True Racing KTM Crossbow of Peter Cox, Stefan Rosina, Saidi Sarmini, Hubert Drunkenpots, and Klaus Angerhofer in the 20th place overall position. And then in 5th place in class, how about this custom team? Vortex V8 build their own cars. The number 701 Vortex V8 Vortex 1.0 GTX with Karen Gillard, Lionel Amrouche, Philippe Girard, and Frank Leon Provost. 21st place overall. So there's your scoop of the GTX class. Now let's move on and discuss the Porsche 991 class. This category, of course, had 4 one-make Porsche 991 Cup cars, all under the same specs and same regulations. But they finished many laps apart. Very quickly that happened. It was the number 955 Willie Motorsport by Ebby Motors that finished 8th overall, completing 662 laps with drivers Fabrizio Broghi, Sergio Nicole, and Sabino De Castro. Good run for this Romanian team. Second place in class, the 909 Duvo Racing Porsche 991 GT3 Cup, finishing 11th overall with Andrei Mikuvos, Sergei Peregurov, and Santislav Sidoruk are 11th overall. Third place in the class had a lot of problems from the very start of the race, which took the good out of the category very quickly. It was a 978 Speedler running at the class podium. That actually was the last car to be classified at finishing the race, with Ricky Coomber, Olivier Dons, and Gavin Pickering completing only 407 laps, 288 laps behind the overall winner. And then, of course, the retirement in the category was the number 989 Rabdon by MRS GT Racing. We had Steph Lamary, Andreas Butskevich, Nikolai Gatteski and Nikola Michelin. They crashed out on lap 263.
Oh.
Now on to the last GTE division, or the GT division. And that, of course, was the 3 GT4s we had in the GT4 class. And I was hoping we'd get more competition there, but it really just didn't last too long, as 2 of the 3 GT4s had problems during the race. Finishing 12th overall was the number 438 ST Racing, Samantha Tan Racing BMW M4 GT4, winning in class for GT4 with Samantha Tan, Nick Whitmer, 2 Canadians, and 2 Americans, John Miller and Chandler Hull, completing a grand total of 638 laps. Second place in the category, well, we have to go many laps behind, and it was another BMW. It was an American team finishing in second. The number 450 RHC Jorgensen Storm by Century Motorsport BMW M4 GT4 with Dutch driver Denny von Dongen, the British driver Nathan Fricke, and the American drivers Darren Jorgensen, the team owner, and Brett Storm, completing 624 laps. So it was very one-sided for the GT4 win. Not much I could say beyond that. And, of course, the third and final place finisher in the GT4 category was the number 499 Car Collection Motorsport Audi R8 LMS GT4 Evo with Lisa Clark, Mark Issa, Jeffrey Westphal, and Martin Leckman, 24th in the overall classification. All right, let's talk about the TCE division. Justin, this was competitive, but it seemed very one-sided towards the end. The Volkswagens pulled away, and they never looked back. In 1-2 fashion, it's just perfect for the brand and for the team, the Swiss team, the Autorama Motorsport by Wolf Power Racing. They should all be proud. Completing 638 laps, finishing 13th overall, and winning in class in the TCE division. Was the number 112 Autorama Motorsport by Wolf Power Racing Volkswagen Golf GTI TCR with Sigitas Ambravius, Arunas Gesiukis, that's the name. Sorry if I mispronounced. Vitinis Gulbinius and Paul Sealis. He had 3 Lithuanians and a Dutchman behind the wheel of the Swiss-prepared German Volkswagen Golf GTI TCR. It was certainly an international victory at finest. And remember, these guys are factory supported by Volkswagen in the TCR ranks.
Yeah.
And to go far in an endurance race in a TCR, it does take some guts. The sister car, a lot of people were looking at them as the ones for winning in the class and in the division. It just wasn't meant to be. They had a few offs that were a little unrepairable, but they still shared the same laps at the end of the race. 638 in total for them as well. 14th overall and second in class. I don't know if they had a stage finish, but it looked like they just kind of accepted where they finished and took the picture and crossed the line as is. Roberto Ferri, Emil Ayerdaho, Konstantin Kletzer, and Jasmine Presig were behind the wheel of the number 1 Autorama Motorsport by Wolf Power Racing Volkswagen Golf GTI TCR. Now, the next car in the TCR class were many laps behind, but we had the number 123 rail equipped by Top Car Sport, Cupra Leon TCR, another domestic team. We had a lot of domestic TCR teams, I've noticed, for this event from Spain in this Barcelona 24 hours. The drivers for that car in the division and class podium were Jose Beloc Diaz, Jorge Beloc Ruiz, and Alvaro Rodriguez Sastre. There are 3 drivers for that car. Now, 4th place in the TCR class, just off the class podium, were another homebound team. And yes, the Cupra, the Seat Cupra, that's a Spanish-built car. And boy, if they won that race, it would have been very popular because they had fans back in the track. I think it was the first race with fans back since like last year.
Yeah.
Florio. Yes, we had we had a pair of two family members. I don't know if they're brother or sister or what the relations are, but they both share 4 drivers, and 2 of them, they each have a pair sharing the same last name. We had Cross Lorenk Fluha, Domini Lorenk Flua, Cornaggio Manel Lao, and Gorina Manel Lao. 4 drivers in that 151 Vapora Motorsport Cooper Leon TCR. They completed 619 laps, but just went off the class podium. But hey, we still got to see a domestic team get a class podium in this event because they were one of the favorites for sure. And hey, maybe you never know how many laps they turn around this track too. So that does pose for good questions. Now, who finished 5th in the category? There were only 6 cars, so I'll just list them all. 5th place in class for the TCR category was the number 188 AC Motorsport Audi RS3 LMS TCR with James Kay, Vincent Rademacher, Stefan Perrin, and Matthew Detry. A lot of people were looking at them. Maybe they could spoil the Volkswagen party, but it just wasn't meant to be. And then, of course, the only retirement in the TCR class was the Dutch program of Bas Koten Racing of Bob and Joost Stevens, Bert Metz, Christian Frankenhout, and Marvin Van den Berg. They had a crash on lap 289. So I assume during the overnight hours that crash happened. This track is not a friendly one to race it overnight. Even with all the lighting because of it being a Grand Prix circuit. So it really, it differs. And that's what makes the 24 Hours of Barcelona an interesting one because not a lot of people talk about it, unlike the other 24-hour races. But it really did put a lot of these drivers to the test. One more class before we finish this up, of course, was the custom touring car category, the TCX class, and that was very one-sided. The number 278 CWS Engineering, the owner-driver, Colin White. How about Colin White at age 64? Almost 65. He'll be 65 at the end of the month. Colin White in the Ginetta G55 Super Cup, completing 618 laps, finishing 19th overall. Colin White, Ian Stinson, Agnes Fender, and Jean-Francois Brunel. Class victory. The only other car in the class, of course, retired 180 laps in with an engine failure of Team ACP Tangerine Associates. Porsche. No, that's not a Porsche. It's a BMW M2 Club Sport. Wiki had a typo. Casby Jones, Jim Norman, and Wim Benoit. In fact, that 278 car actually started on pole in the TCE division over the TCR cars, which I found really cool. Like, that little Ginetta could be fast enough.
Yeah.
Well, there are 2 races left in the 24H Series season because we had the Portimao 24 Hours being canceled in July. We have the return of the Coppa Florio, the 12 Hours of Sicily. That is a major prestigious race in Italy, held in the Pergusa circuit. In Pergusa circuit, of course, the Coppa Florio used to be the old event. Last year, we saw a factory Porsche lineup take the win. It's a 12 Hours of Sicily, so it's a 12-hour race. It's going to be 6 and 6, and I think it was 4 and 7 last time around. It'll be a 2-day event held on the 2nd to 3rd of October for round 6 of 7, and of course, yes, the 24 Hours of Sebring will close out the season.
Yeah.
Will I be there? Who knows? I would love to be there. We'll see about that. But yeah, that will be on the weekend after my birthday. 23 years old on November 14th. But yeah, I can't wait to see what that's going to look like. So we're going to talk more sports car racing later in the podcast because we have more racing to cover. And you know what? I think sports car racing is going to get fun to watch. Now that Le Mans is in the back of everybody's minds, all they got to do is race for championships. There's no really major event until the Petit Le Mans, I'd say, and the 24 Hours of Sebring, and maybe the last 2 races of the WEC. But even then, the last 2 races of the WEC, I feel like most of these are just getting ready for next year.
Yeah, probably getting ready for next season because not long after the season finale of, we got the 24 Hours of Dubai in January. At the end of January, we have the 24 Hours of Daytona. in January to literally the 24 hours, like literally a few months after the finale at Bahrain for WEC. We have the Rolex 24 at Daytona in January. Before that, we got the 24 hours of Dubai.
Hey, and looks like we might be getting the 12 hours of Bathurst. I hope we do. It should be a week after. Let's hope Australia says yes.
We'll see.
It ain't looking too good right there.
But
this is not a political commentary group, and you know where I'm going with that. So let's talk about the W Series.
Yep, W Series. They raced at Zandvoort this weekend for round
the Grand Prix weekend.
Yep, round
Alice
6 of
Powell, she did everything she needed to do to stay in this championship fight and put a stop to Jamie. I almost said Jamie Whincup.
Yeah. I was about to say Jamie Whincup drives in supercars, and this is a series for females.
You can see, like, if I'm not thinking straight, I'm gonna say something stupid.
Yeah. Jamie Chadwick did not win. But Alice
Powell fast slap.
Yep, but there's no bonus points, but she got 25 points for a victory. Yeah.
How about Emma Kimi-Leinen in third with the pole position?
Yep.
Fourth place, Maria Marti.
Yep.
Jessica Hawkins in fifth. Abby Eaton in sixth, Abby Pulling in seventh, Belen Garcia, Sarah Moy, and Miki Koyama were your final points paying positions.
Yeah.
Now, we have 2 races left. They're going to go to North America next.
Yep.
Actually, in almost 2 months, less like 1 month and 3 weeks time.
Yep. Coda.
Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas.
And
then a week after, they'll be at the Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico City to complete the 2021 W Series Championship. But it's very close heading into the penultimate race. We have Alice Powell and Jamie Chadwick tied at 109 points. But if it were to go to count back, it would be Alice Powell based on the premise of finishing position. Emma Kimi-Leinen is still in the hunt. She has 75 points, but I think from everyone from Marcy on back, 53 points. Fabian Volvin, 40 points. It's pretty much all done for them.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about some NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour events that we had.
Yeah, they raced at
the Oswego 150.
Ron Silk.
He gets it done again. I'm not surprised.
2 in a row.
It was a Ron Silk race and a half.
Yeah, two wins in a row now. 17th career win in the Modifieds for Ron Silk. He led 111 laps out of 150. He just had a dominating car. Ron Silk, people give him some races. Ron Silk, he's just quietly there. And also Ron Silk, he's been in the series for a long time. He knows how to get around these tracks. So anytime you see Ron Silk in that black number 85, you know he's going to be there at the end.
He led 111 laps to get the win. Matt Hirschman finished in second. Justin Bonsinger, the points leader, had a great race. He led 38 laps. This is going to help him in the championship. Doug Kobe, fourth. Anthony Nusself and Patrick Emmerling, he really took a blow in the championship. He led one lap,
but
15 paces.
Yeah. And, Justin Bonsinger, he leads the points by 20 over Patrick Emmerling heading into Richmond. It is close, but Patrick needs just to get he has to do something more, because the thing that's hurting Patrick Emmerling is how consistent Justin Bonsinger has been. That you see that 51 running up front compared to Patrick Emmerling. So Justin Bonsinger just consistent recently, which is really helping Bonsinger. He's been up front so much this season.
It's 455 points for Bonsinger now, 20 points behind at 435 points is Patrick Emmerling now. Patrick did not need this good race this kind of race because we have 3 rounds left in this next one. We'll talk about that in a minute. Ron Silk is third with 398 points. For him at this point.
Doug
Kobe 381 points and John McKinney 376 points. I think those 3 will battle it out for themselves for who gets third.
Doug Kobe, he missed the race. Ron Silk's been consistent recently. Ron Silk's just been winning. He won the last 2. If Ron Silk wins at Richmond, that's going to be 3 wins in a row for Ron Silk. He won at
Richmond. It's going to be part of the Cup weekend. We got a lot of entries. It's round 12, 14. There'll be 3 races remaining. The Richmond 150 will be a difficult race to win. And this is a big test for Justin Bonsignor.
Yeah, there's 29 cars. There was supposed to be 30. Tommy Catalano withdrew because they had an accident last weekend. Their car was totaled, basically. So 29 entered. Ryan Newman, Ryan Preece are in the race.
Yeah,
Bobby Santos is back. Burt Myers. Oh, it's going to be a tough field.
Track stardom.
So basically, it's going to be tough for those drivers in the modifieds. But we also had
we had a race up north.
Yep, we had the Penny Series. Had a double header at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. The Olympic Mill Grand Prix of Ontario was Saturday, and the Clarington 200 on Sunday. But race 1, Alfie Dumoulin.
Brilliant run. He led 10 laps. He didn't need to lead them all, but he certainly led the final 10 laps and never looked back, picking up the win in his Dodge over Marc-Antoine Cameron. Trading Lapsevich rounded out the podium. 4th place, Alex Tagliani, the veteran, and 5th place, Gary Cliff, the local favorite, who led 20 laps in the race.
He was on pole, but he had something break. That's why he lost spots, but still good for him. But there was Andrew Ranger was demoted to the last car on the lead lap in the results because of they had a mechanical failure, and he ignored the black flag because he was smoking all over the track, and he did not pay attention to that. So they put it at the end of the lead lap because every corner and straightaway he was smoking, and Tagliani
black flag.
Nope. So they're like, we put you dead. Yeah, last car on the lead lap, but race 2.
Race 2 is very competitive. I mean, we had a longer distance, of course, but Marc-Antoine Cameron, he got it back and took the win.
Yeah,
he led only 5 laps to do it.
Yeah, and
Chevrolet, it was a brilliant run. How about Marc-Andre Bergeron? Was a former NHL player, owns the team.
No, he owns Dumoulin's team. Marc-Antoine drives for the 22 racing.
Stuckley, I meant. I was thinking about the other team.
Yeah, 2nd place was Tagliani.
Tagliani led 27 laps. Boy, he had it in the bag and almost looked like. Kyle Marcelli, we got a sports car name right there. He finished in 3rd in the highest Ford in the finishing order. Kevin Lacroix finished 4th in his Dodge. He needed a good points run for sure, leading 16 laps. Andrew Ranger 5th, and Gary Clute led 3 laps to finish in 6th.
Yeah, it was good results for those people.
So what are the points to look like now that we're halfway through the season?
Well, I saw it's 248.
Yes, Tagliani.
And then 8 points behind LP Dumoulin in his Dodge, 240. So 8 points heading into Flamborough Speedway. Good amount of points.
Kevin Lacroix, he's at 218 points, but now he's got work to do. He had a good race 1. Traded Lapsevich, 209 points, and Alex Quinn at 208 points. So they might be in a battle for the Owen position over there. Sure. But for the lead, it might come down to either the top 2 or the top 3. We're going to have to find out how Lacroix performs this weekend at Flamborough. Because that'll be around 7 and 8. Now, it's currently 9 races. We're supposed to go back to 11 regardless. We passed the first half already.
Yeah,
it's going to go by fast.
Like Trent Lapsevich, he's leading the rookie points, basically, because his only competition is Sam Fellows, who's part-time. He missed the first 2 rounds because Chantel Kalika drove the 98. So basically, Trent Lapsevich just has to finish out the season to get Rookie of the Year in that 20 car. For Steckley for 22 races.
He's part of a racing family. Lapsevich.
His father, Jeff Lapsevich. These
are like Canada's best stock cars. Back in the cast car era, they were hard to beat. Because they were the Gary Blues of the North.
But it's been Mosport. I always look forward to the Penny Series there.
Such a classic track.
And like the Penny Series is always an interesting series. I know people are like, oh. It's a local series, but it's still that's Canada's highest form of like stock car racing. That's their highest form, other than like ACC models, which race up north in the US.
That's more like a late model series.
Yeah, but like the Penny Series, they go to different tracks. They you can watch the races through Track Pass in the US, TSN.ca in Canada. I always like to see the Penny Series. I've seen some races. like on TV, like when they used to be only tape delayed, but they're always interesting to watch.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So
Can't wait to
yeah,
see what's up next. I mean,
yeah,
this is the speaking of Flamborough
yeah.
Speedway in
Good.
Ontario.
Yep. Then we
Round
got
7 and 8.
yep. We got Arca. Arca had a race.
Yes, we had our second of 2 dirt races this season, and
Coin.
it was a one-sided show.
Landon Lewis driving for Max Eagles, number 2, which I guess he's part of Austin Terrio's development team. Landon Lewis got a
Certainly
win.
drove like a champion in that one.
He saw a pole at every lap.
Never looked back.
Whoa, like that was impressive to see.
I mean, the fact that anyone could get to him, that was already a win. I mean, even though you couldn't really get to him.
Yeah.
It was just his niche. And the kid is 15 years old. Let's not forget how old he is. He's 15 years old and just says, okay, I'm here. This is my place, my playground. Sit down. I'm going to go ahead and lap all you guys. 104 laps led. Well done. Bravo. He's got a great career ahead of him, a long career ahead. Landon Lewis, congratulations on the win. Ty Gibbs, great finish for Ty Gibbs in second place. This is going to help him in the championship, but he still has one more big test to pass, I'd say, before he can really, really get, sink in. Ken Schrader. How about Ken Schrader? How old is he? 66?
Let me check.
Ken Schrader, what a name.
Yeah, 66 years old.
The veteran proved himself strong, and he got himself a third-place finish. He still races locally in the dirt tracks around the Midwest. Ken Schrader is a big-time name in motorsports, and I'm glad that we all got to see him run this one. As is the other another veteran, Ryan Unsicker, who runs usually just the dirt races for ARCA. He finally got a win last year, and he might have had a better car if it weren't for Landon Lewis, who just walked off and never looked back. Taylor Gray had a few incidents, but brought it home in 5th.
Yeah, driving the 40s.
The standings. And obviously, it's down to just the top 2 now because third on back, they're mathematically out of it. But Ty Gibbs has 903 points compared to Corey Heim, 887 points. That's a 16-point difference with 3 races remaining. Chad Moffitt is third with 646 points, as was Nick Sanchez, 625 points. Both drivers were absent in the last race. Brad Smith, 469 points. So we might see a battle for third. It's going to be unlikely. It just depends on if they show up or not for the next 3 races.
Yeah, but
it's just down to the top 2, and Bristol's going to be a tough test to pass. There's a lot that can work for you and a lot that can work against you when we go to the Bristol on the 16th of September for round 18 to 20. There are many reasons. It's part of a Cup Series weekend. We're going to have we might have a lot of entries.
Yep.
It's part of the East Series finale.
Yeah.
We got a high car count. I bet you money we're going to have our highest car count. One of our highest.
Like, remember last year? We had 28 entries last year.
And if you have a bad race, and you're not going to be able to finish 8th, 9th, or 10th.
Yeah. Like
you could in DeCoin. No. You're going to be finishing 28th or 25th.
Yeah, because there's not many.
You have more positions to lose with a higher car count.
Yeah,
you have a chance to get less points than you.
Yeah, like DuQuoin was interesting watching that. Landon Lewis dominated. Like that was interesting. It was interesting the races we had.
Ty Gibbs at Bristol.
We'll see, but remember, if Sam Mayer's in the field and Brett Holmes' car. Remember last year, Sam Mayer dominated. Remember, Sam Mayer won
the truck race and won the ARCA race in the same day.
Don't be interesting if Sam Mayer's driving for Brett Holmes' team in the trucks and then in ARCA, and he does the same thing twice.
Playground.
Sam Mayer at Bristol. He's good there. So anytime,
great driver. I can't wait to see him run the Xfinity.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's running the Xfinity. He's running for BJ McLeod this weekend at Richmond due to Dale Jr.'s in the 8.
Yes, Dale and Art Jr.'s been coming back in the race car. That's gonna be fun to watch.
But seeing, so it's gonna be interesting. So we got events this weekend. We have the NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, and the Modified Tour at Richmond. We got at Formula 1 and Formula 2. They're running at Monza. We got
Grand Prix.
IndyCar and ARCA West are at Portland. We got
what else? They're going west to complete 3 races. Is it 3 weeks in a row?
Yep, 3 weeks in a row. The 12th, 19th, and 26th.
I can't wait to see this.
IMSA's at Laguna Seca for their return, which IMSA, yeah, it's going to be in.
The road race at Laguna Seca is always a classic.
So, yeah, Richmond.
And the 6 hours of Nürburgring. That's another classic.
Yeah.
The whole Nordschleife for the NLS VLN series. We're going to start with the NASCAR Cup Series, the Richmond 400.
Yep.
Let's talk about this race. Now, this is a historical track because it's been around since 1953.
Yep.
Got a lot of successful backgrounds in this event in particular. Let's get started with why it's such an important event. Well, I'll give you a hint. This year, Alex Bowman won. Last year was Brad Keselowski. This is round 28 to 36. As far as the round of 16, it's the playoffs.
Race 2
of 3. So we're in the median.
Yeah.
Now, the first race here was held in 1953. It was a dirt track then. Won by Lee Petty. Now, who has the most wins? Well, his son, Richard Petty.
Obviously.
12 wins
Oof.
for Richard Petty. 7 wins for Bobby Allison. 6 wins for Kyle Busch, David Pearson. 5 wins for Rusty Wallace, Darrell Waltrip, and Dale Earnhardt. 3 wins for Dale Earnhardt Jr., Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Jimmy Johnson, Tony Stewart. Joe Weatherly and Cale Yarborough. I had to write in small print to know all these names without wasting the page. 2 wins from Davey Allison, Neil Bonnet, Clint Boyer, Kurt Busch, Carl Edwards, Jeff Gordon, Ernie Irvin, Dale Jarrett, Matt Kenseth, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Dave Marcus, Cotton Owens, Benny Parsons, Lee Petty, Ricky Rudd, Speed Thompson, and Martin Truex Jr. Goes for all the races at Richmond. Now, for the fall race at Richmond, most team wins. It's a tie between Petty Enterprises and Joe Gibbs Racing. Looks like Joe Gibbs Racing has a great chance to break that one.
We'll see.
6 wins for Team Penske. They might join a 7 wins club too.
Well,
you never know.
Yeah.
But more engineering, Hendrick Motorsports 5 wins each.
Hendrick could get another win possibly.
With 4 wins, Dygar Motorsports, Richard Childress Racing, Roush Fenway Racing. With 3 wins, Cotton Owens, Junior Johnson and Associates, and Robert Yates Racing. Now, as for manufacturers at the fall race of Richmond, it's by 1. Okay, Chevrolet has 17 wins. Ford has 16 wins. Dodge, of course, no longer in the sport, 9 wins. Toyota, 7 wins. Pontiac, 6 wins. Plymouth, 5 wins. T-Bird, Buick, ultimately 1 win. So, obviously you can tell how old these events are.
Yeah.
And now we're going to go here in 2021, give you all the history of this event. Richmond, the capital of Virginia.
Yeah.
Who's going to come on top? Which playoff driver will have the best impression?
Okay, I'm looking at this person's stats. So I always look at the stats to make sure I pick the right driver. Okay, this driver in how many starts does this? Okay, this driver in 40 starts. He's tied with the most starts by any driver. This driver in 40 starts has 2 wins, 7 top 5s, 15 top 10s, 29 top 20s, 919 laps led. His best finish is first. Lowest finish is 42nd, and only 1 DNF here. And an average finish of 15.25. This driver, he has currently 1 win in the season. He's going to a Toyota team in 2022. Driver of the number 1. Kurt Busch is going to win at Richmond and get win number 2 of the season and his and his 3rd win at Richmond.
Oh, that's gonna be a spectacular one for Chip Ganassi Racing in the Cup Series.
I feel like Kurt, he's good at Richmond. He's trying to get number 3. I feel like he's gonna have enough speed to get win number 3 at Richmond. Who's your pick, Joseph?
And I think for this one, Kyle Larson's won here before, and I'm going to say he's going to win it again. I'm just going to be off the bat.
Okay, makes sense.
Kyle Larson's going to win.
Okay, makes sense.
Let's him win this last one. He's going to win one back. All right. I think that was pretty short and sweet. I have no idea what the playoffs are going to look like. It's going to be wild.
And Richmond, remember that one time in 2016, the race before the playoffs? Remember when Tony Stewart dumped Ryan Newman and Dylan Lupton landed on top of him, like on the side? And
that was the cutoff race.
Newman was not happy with Tony Stewart after that race.
Oh
He
yeah,
said Google Tony Stewart, search him up on YouTube. Oh yeah, it was interesting.
All right, let's move on and discuss the Xfinity Series race. Now, unlike the Cup Series, they still have 2 races to go before the playoffs. You have the Richmond 250 for round 23 or 25 and 33. 2 races to go in the regular season until we reach the NASCAR Xfinity Series playoffs. Justin Allgaier won last year twice. The first race was held in the inaugural established season, won by Tommy Ellis. Now, who has the most wins here? This is Kevin Harvick's playground. See, 7 times he's won. Kyle Busch, 6 times he's won. Mark Martin, a 5-time winner. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Harry Gant, Brad Keselowski, 4 wins. Christopher Bell, Carl Edwards, Denny Hamlin, and Kenny Wallace, 3 wins. Justin Allgaier, Sam Ard, Jeff Burton, Tommy Ellis, Butch Lindley, and Jamie Spencer, 2-time winners. Now, as for the fall race at Richmond, who has the most wins? Well, Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, Joe Gibbs Racing, share 5 wins on that. Ross Furman Racing, 4 wins. Whittaker Racing, Philmar Racing, Richard Childress Racing, 3 wins each. And with 2 wins, we have Team Penske and Junior Motorsports. As for the fall race at Richmond Manufacturers, Chevrolet leads that with 15, Ford with 10. Pretty interesting to see Ford with a lot of wins there, considering that they don't have a lot of presence sometimes in the series. But they definitely have good presence and good showing at this track. Toyota, 5 wins. Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, the ex-GM brands in the sport, 3 wins each. So now we're here. We're going to talk about the drivers that I'm looking at. The drivers you're looking at. Who do you have for Richmond? And we got one Dale Earnhardt Jr. back in the grid.
Okay, I got my pick. Okay, my driver. Let me check. Wait. Okay, my driver that I'm picking. Yes, 4 wins. All of them are in Chevrolets. He has only 1 win for his own team. He's running this weekend, his only start of the season. Driver of the number 8 Chevrolet, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to win at Richmond. Win number 5. He's going to get number 5 at Richmond.
Mark Martin.
Yeah, I think he can.
That would be a popular win. If Dale Earnhardt Jr. wins an Xfinity Series race post-retirement, that would be so fun to watch. He's good at Richmond, too.
Yeah.
He race was like 2 or 3 years ago. He ran for the win. He was competing for the win.
Yeah, against Christopher Bell.
Yeah, it was 2018 against Christopher Bell.
Yeah, and remember, Dale Jr. won the first. Yeah, and I remember in 2016 he won the spring race over Ty Dillon in the 88 Hellman's car. But Dale Jr., he's good at Richmond. One of Dale Jr.'s better short tracks is Richmond.
2004.
Yeah, Richmond, I feel like Dale Jr., he can actually bring it home for Junior Motorsports. Would be a good win for Dale Jr.
Would be popular.
Yep, really popular. The fans would like that.
It's going to make ESPN buzz and everybody buzz.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see Dale Jr. wins NASCAR comeback because NASCAR comeback.
It's like I remember when NBC cared more about Haley Deegan getting her best finish compared to Sheldon Creed's dominating win at Gateway.
Yes, we know how the press works.
But
all right, I'm going to go. However, I would love to see Dale Earnhardt Jr. win in this one-off event that he's running, but here's going to be another popular win. Daniel Hemrick is going to win at Richmond. This is a kind of track he's going to
Huh? Hemrick?
Yeah, he's
you think?
Win.
Well, you think he's going to win? We'll see.
You can't be this good and not win races. He's going to break through. And once he breaks through, he's going to start winning a lot of races.
Well, you do have Austin Cindric, AJ Allmendinger, Justin Haley, Jeb Byrne in the field, Harrison Byrne.
This may be a little controversial statement, but I feel like there's a glass ceiling between winning a lot of races and getting your first win. You just have to break through and get that first win.
Yeah, but...
I should find a different way to say it, but hey... You got to get through somehow, some way. And then once you win first time, you're going to start winning all the time. I can tell you from firsthand experience when I sim raced in 2003. It took me months to get my first win online. Well, and then after I win, now I have 50 wins.
Well, on iRacing, me trying to win online races on any game, I have 1 win online on NASCAR 15 because 2 guys wrecked each other and I pulled away from people at Talladega. My iRacing online. I had one start. I DNF'd on the 4th lap. I got put in the wall and I spun and I DNF'd. So yeah, my iRacing online experience has not been good. F1, my best finish is 4th. NASCAR Heat, I just can't win there. I'm always finishing 2nd or 3rd, or I get crashed and finish last. But other than that, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Richmond.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what it's going to look like, and it will be fun to watch for sure. It's a driver's track for a reason. They call it that because really it's all in the hands of the drivers. You just got to drive the car, have a good line around the track, and you should be fine. Well, let's move on and talk some open wheel racing. We got a lot of open wheel racing coming up our way, and a lot of sports car racing up ahead the road. But let's start with Formula One and talk about the so prestigious Italian Grand Prix.
Yep, at
the
Monza.
Gran d'Italia, if I said it right.
Yep, at Monza, the Monza circuit, which is always an interesting circuit.
Primero d'Italia.
Like
I said it right. I didn't need to check myself.
Like the track at Monza is interesting. You got so many interesting turn 1 and the last part, which is Parabolica. Orlando, but Lando can't pronounce it. He says Parabotica. Like, there was a video of Quadrant, and Lando couldn't pronounce Parabolica.
But right there.
Yeah, but Parabolica is an interesting corner, high speed. There's always interesting corners, and there's always that turn. Not the first chicane. You know the second chicane, Joseph, at the track.
Yes,
turn I never liked. You know who doesn't like that? Sebastian Vettel.
Usually Vettel doesn't like this stuff.
Well, and then I remember, but remember Vettel when he spun and
don't remind me on that. I was a pissed man that day.
When he came back on track and told him he came back on circuit like an idiot. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know what it is.
Just glad he was able to win later that year.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the history of this race. So last year we had Pierre Gasly win this event. The first race was won by one and only Giuseppe Farina in 1950.
Yep.
Now it was the wins to tie between Michael Schumacher and Lewis Hamilton. And I think how fitting it would be if Lewis Hamilton could get to 100 on this event and break Schumacher's record.
He can. Yeah, Merc. I know Red Bull's been fast recently, but Mercs have been fast at Italy.
Absolutely. Nelson Piquet 4 wins, then Juan Manuel Fangio, Sterling Moss, Ronnie Peterson, Alain Prost, Rubens Barrichello, and Sebastian Vettel. 3 wins for all those drivers in the Italian Grand Prix. Alberto Ascari, Phil Hill, John Surtees, Jackie Stewart, Clay Regazzoni, Niki Lauda, Ayrton Senna, Damien Hill, Juan Pablo Montoya, and Fernando Alonso.
Okay.
2-time winners in this event.
Yeah.
The Italian Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Now, most constructor wins, it's Ferrari's home territory. 19 wins they have.
Yeah, they have 19 wins, but
10 McLaren, 7 for Mercedes, Williams with 6, Lotus with 5, BRM and Brabham with 3, 2 ex-British manufacturers or constructors, I mean. Maserati, Vanwell, Renault, and Red Bull, 2 wins each. And if you're a Verstappen fan, you may be a little concerned with that stat, with how well Red Bull have been during the time of this race's existence.
Yeah.
And the fun fact is that the Red Bull Junior team has the same amount of wins as Red Bull does. We had Sebastian Vettel with
2008.
Toro Rosso, Scuderia Toro Rosso in 08, and of course with
AlphaTauri with Pierre
Gasly under the same umbrella, if you would count them too. That equates to the 2 wins that Vettel had with Red Bull.
Yeah, and Mercedes at
so
Monza.
Max fans better be wary about this, right?
Yeah,
that's why I say Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, because Mercedes have been fast at Monza. The Merc has been Monza's just suited the Merc very well. Like, you've seen how Mercedes goes around the track. It's not Haas with the cow on ice, according to Josh Revel. That's what the Haas car is, a cow on ice,
a cow on ice, the Josh Revel reference.
Like the Haas car is not going to get points because it's going to take a lot more than fewer drivers to get Haas points. but I don't think it's going to be crazy of a start. We'll see. Hopefully it's not too much rain like Belgium, that race. But we had a good race last week. So, yeah, my pick for this weekend.
I'm going with Lewis Hamilton.
I got my pick. This is going to be, you're talking about Ferrari and stuff. I got my pick. This is going to shock everybody. My pick. This driver, he has 0 career wins in Formula 1. This driver, he's driven for multiple teams. He's driven for Toro Rosso, Renault, McLaren, and now Ferrari. Driver of the number 55, Carlos Sainz, is going to get a win at Italy and get another win for Ferrari. Yes, Ferrari.
Justin wants to shake the pot. He doesn't want to stir the pot. He wants to shatter the pot.
Hey, this time Ferrari does not have a dump truck like last year.
The Fosi would go crazy for that. And Carlos Sainz getting his first win.
That would be
a dream and a half.
Like, remember last year, Ferrari had like a dump truck, I think. The car was so bad, remember?
We know Ferrari are the Maple Leafs of Formula 1.
Remember when they changed the paint scheme for Mugello? They thought the car was going to be faster. No,
the paint scheme doesn't change performance. Hello?
Yeah, I don't know what
Ferrari... It just changes looks.
Yeah, but Ferrari, I remember last year they had the worst weekend. They had Vettel with brake issues and Leclerc crashing in Parabolica. But I remember Leclerc's win back in 2019. He won his two career wins back to back. Yeah, he
won 2 of the most prestigious Grand Prix on the schedule.
Yeah, the Belgian Grand Prix, and then he won the Italian.
So far, those 2 races haven't treated him well ever since. But hey, could Italy turn around for Leclerc? I expect a podium for Ferrari.
Yeah, we can't see that because, like, if Valtteri struggles, we could have Lewis, Max, and then a Ferrari podium. The Ferrari on the podium. It's possible because last year we had the craziness. When Kevin Magnussen caused a safety car, Lewis Hamilton and Giovinazzi pitted when the pits were closed. They had penalties, and Pierre Gasly won in an AlphaTauri, which nobody expected.
That was a wild podium we had last year.
Yeah, literally somebody in Finland put a Gasly, Sainz, Stroll podium in the order, and he bid 20 cents on it, but got 33,000 euros for placing those 3 in the correct order on the podium. I don't know who decided to have those 3 at a podium. And that race was so interesting to see Gasly, Sainz, and Stroll on the podium. It was just weird. And then, this year's Hungarian Grand Prix, we had Alpine, Aston Martin, and a Mercedes, but then we had this year we had Russell on the podium at Spa, which
that was outrageous. Okay, let's talk about IndyCar now.
Yep, IndyCar.
Because let's bring up F2 first, and then IndyCar third.
Yep, Formula 2. They're racing at Monza. They haven't raced. Their last race was at the British Grand Prix because they did not race at Hungary, they did not race at Belgium, and they did not race at Zandvoort. They're racing here at the Monza circuit. They have 2 sprint races and a feature race. That's how it works. They have 2 sprint races on Saturday and a feature race on Sunday with qualifying on Friday. That's how the layout for the weekend works now. It's not like before when they had 1 sprint and 1 feature race first and then the sprint race. There's 20.
All right, let's kind of break it down now. So the standings right now, it's very close between Piastri and Grenadier. It's not too far back yet. Of course, I'd say 3rd, 4th, and 5th might have a chance at it with the 3 races that are put into the weekend. We have Robert Schwartzman, Dan Ticktum, and Yuri Vips that might just have the chance, but Teo Pourchaire is going to have to do a lot of work to stay in this championship.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I want to hear the best driver you're going to have. Who's the best driver all weekend long?
For me, this weekend, the best driver overall this weekend, I feel like it's going to be Yuri Vips for the for High Tech Grand Prix. Yuri Vips, he's been so good this season. I remember when he ran. Remember when he replaced Sean Galiles for a few races last year?
He shined.
Yeah, and he's showing the same thing in his first F2 full F2 season. He's showing his speed. So I feel like he's going to really shine, and I feel like this weekend he's going to do really well at Monza. Who do you think's going to do better this whole weekend?
I think this one is going to be in the hands of Robert Schwartzman.
Okay.
He knows his way around the track. This is a very solid driver who I've seen succeed when pressure cooks. He gets to the kitchen. He answers. He embraces the heat. He's a great aggressive driver. This guy, I like his driving technique, especially around a track like Monza. I think he should go with the classic circuits, and
also
he'll be tough. And you know what?
Well, also remember, Prema is an Italian team. Prema Power Team is based in Gragson di Zocco, Veneto, Italy. So it's an Italian team. So home circuit for them. So they that's going to give them momentum for being at their home track, and they've been dominating F3. They've been good in F2, so they have a good shot. And really, Schwartzman has a good shot of really doing well this season, and for this race, which will really help them.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk some American Open Wheel racing. We got the climax, pretty much getting closer to reaching in this IndyCar Championship hunt, and it's very, very tight for this title hunt. I mean, just take a look at the top three. 2 teams, 3 drivers, or 3 teams, 3 drivers, and possibly a fourth if Scott Dixon pulls through. Then we might just be surprised. But we don't know. We really don't know until we see what happens at the Portland Grand Prix. We don't have much data to look back on because there have only been 2 races since
2019.
2007.
Yeah.
Which was the end of the Champ Car World Series era.
Yep.
Now, if you look at the Portland Grand Prix, you can notice some trends here. It's hard for drivers to win again at this event, and I'll explain why. So let's just look at the history first. It's round 14 to 16. Last race was won by Will Power in 2019. First race was won by Al Unser Jr. in 1984.
Huh.
Yes. Now, who has the most wins? It's a tie between Al Unser Jr. and Michael Andretti. These drivers have 2 wins. Mario Andretti, Emerson Fittipaldi, Alex Zanardi, Gio LaFerrin, Cristiano Damana, and Sebastian Bourdais. Most wins by a team, Newman Haas Racing, 8 wins. Team Penske, 6 wins. Chip Ganassi Racing and Ray Hall Letterman Lanigan Racing share 2 wins. Now for manufacturer engine wins, Cosworth leads this with 11. Ilmore with 7. Chevrolet and Ford Cosworth with 6. Honda with 4. Mercedes-Benz with 2. And Toyota with 1. So it seems like we have a hard time finding repeat winners at this event. But when we do, you just don't exceed 2 wins unless your name is Unser or Michael Andretti. And even then, you don't really know them too much for their success on the road courses.
Yeah.
Unlike their oval counterparts in IndyCar.
Yeah.
But where do we see this going? Who's going to come out on top here at Portland?
Okay, my pick, this driver, he is a rookie. This driver is a rookie this season. It's his first time in IndyCar, but he's raced open wheels before in another sport. This driver, let me check. I know he's the second highest rookie in the points. He is currently 15th in the standings. This season, he has 10 stars, 1 pole, 3 top 5s, 5 top 10s. He has an average finish of 11.60, an average star of 8.1. This driver, he drives the number 51 for for Dale Coyne with Rick Ware Racing. Roman Grosjean gets career win number 1 in IndyCar, and he'll win at Portland. He has speed.
That's going to be a popular win for sure.
Yeah, if he can finish second multiple times, I feel like he's going to break through and get his first win because some races he just has so much speed. I feel like he can bring that speed and capture a win this season. Who's your pick, Joseph?
I'm looking at a driver. You know, this driver, he's very he's got a lot of grit in not Formula E, IndyCar racing.
I was about to say Formula E.
No, he never raced Formula E. But I will say is that he ran twice at Portland.
Okay.
Prior to 2018 and 2019, but he was in there before his team moved to the IRL.
Is this Sebastian Bourdais?
No. Scott Dixon will finally win at Portland.
Oh! I thought you were going to say Bourdais like you've done so many times this season.
Listen, I just don't know about Bourdais this year. It just has been his time.
But also,
I hope if Andretti keeps that extra seat open for James Hinchcliffe if he goes, that they put Bourdais in the seat because he will definitely do that.
Yeah, because the AJ Foyt's team, they've been troubling, and there's a rumor about most likely towards the end of the season, Grosjean's going to be confirmed in the 28, replacing
That's the end of an era right there.
Yeah, Ryan Hunter-Reay is just not in it anymore. Yeah, IndyCar Portland. Gonna be interesting at Portland to see that event on Sunday. ARCA West precedes that event on Saturday, but also we have IMSA racing.
Yes, we have 2 sports car events. We're going to talk about IMSA, and then we will discuss the NLS VLN series.
Yeah, I posted the entry list in the private chat. The entry list for
maybe see if you have one for the NLS series. But I don't. Did you say they wait until Wednesday of the week?
Yeah. 26 entries for IMSA, 6 prototypes, 4 LMP2s, 3. The same 3 GTLMs are entered again. The 2 Corvettes and the WeatherTech Porsche, and then we have 13 GT Daytona entries. Decent amount of cars at Laguna Seca, which is always a good track. I love the layout.
It's a classic circuit.
Yeah, the corkscrew's an interesting part of the track, and it's going to be interesting.
The hills, the incline, the decline.
I know that there's not just there's the other than IMSA there, Michelin Pilot Challenge, the Lamborghini Super Trofeo, Mazda MX-5 Cup, which that series has just been interesting.
Well, that's a fun series to watch. I highly recommend you guys check it out.
Yeah, like the Mazda MX-5 Cup, there's been some close finishes.
Because they're all one make.
Yeah, one of the races at Sebring, 1/1000 of a second was the margin of victory. Daytona.
Slipstream towards the line. That was incredible.
Yeah, so we have 26 entries. GT at the obvious class that.
Let's go for the overall competing class now.
DPIs.
6 DPIs in this event.
Yeah. 3 Cadillacs, 2 Acuras, and
the Mazda.
Yep, I got my pick.
All right, let's hear yours, Justin. Who's going to swing overall?
My pick is the number 10 Konica Minolta Acura ARX-05, driven by Ricky Taylor and Philippe Albuquerque. I'm going with them. They have momentum from winning so many races this year. Acura has been good at these shorter races too. And Philippe Albuquerque, who's just fast, and Ricky Taylor with being fast and having a lot of experience in the team. Really helping. So I feel like the number 10 is going to go back to victory lane and increase their points lead because they're leading the points right now overall.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and say that Car 31 might be the team to beat. They have 2 great drivers. Felipe Nasr is fast, as is Pipo Durrani. These 2 Brazilians know how to work together very well. The Whelen Engineering Racing Cadillac DPI, they have absolutely a lot of speed. The Action Express team, they come prepared.
Yep.
This might just be their chance to win the road race at Laguna Seca. It's going to be tough.
Yep.
We don't know how it's going to look, but it
Yep.
will definitely come down towards the very end.
Yep. We have 4 LMP2s. They're all Oracle 7s, so 4 LMP2s entered. 2 Tower Motorsport, Win Autosport, Aero Motorsport, and PR1 Matheson. I got my pick.
Serious.
My pick is the number 18 Aero Motorsports entry, driven by Dwight Meerman and Ryan Dalziel. They have experience, so I'm going with
They had
experience.
a poor Le Mans outing that they'd like to shake off and move on from.
Yep. Who's your pick, Joseph?
I'm going to go ahead and take car number 8 of John Farano, Gabriel Albry, the Tower Motorsport Orca 07.
Okay.
I think Gabriel Albry puts up really fast drivers. He's, there's a reason why he's a gold driver. So
Yeah.
I look at him as, a good favorite. Now, let's talk about the LMGTs real quick.
Yeah,
class.
They had 3 entries, the same as always, the 2 Corvettes and the WeatherTech. My pick, easy. The number 3 Corvette, Antonio Garcia and Jordan Taylor. They've just been the class of the field all season. That 3 entry, they're just so fast this season.
Oh, they didn't win Le Mans. Still surprises me.
But in IMSA, they've been just winning and winning and winning.
They don't have that much competition, so I'm going to go with the 3.
Yeah, like Garcia and
Jordan Taylor. They'll just continue on.
They have so much experience in the field. Like Jordan Taylor ran in the DPI class for a while. Then he moved down the just class in GTLM. He's doing good
for a long time.
Yeah, he's doing good. And he has teammate Antonio Garcia. He has so much experience.
Long-time Corvette driver.
Yes.
There's a lot of experience in there.
Okay, now we got 13. Yep, now we got 13. GT Daytonas. We got Pfaff Motorsports back. An extra Art of Racing entry. Decent, good looking at the entries. Good amount.
Yes, our racing team will field a second GT3 from Aston Martin for the rest of the season.
Yeah, they got good amount of drivers, good experience for some teams. I see names that I've seen all season. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be tough picking someone because this class is always competitive.
It's close. It's obviously the tough class because GT3 provides a lot of competition, especially for sprint race. And remember, they have 2 championships to go in for in this event. They have the Sprint Cup Championship, which is dedicated to this class only for sprint races, and for that, think what we got. How many races left in the Sprint Championship? I'm looking right now. After Laguna Seca, there are just 2 races left. Long Beach, which is an hour 40 minutes because it's on the street circuit, and then we have the 2-hour 40-minute race at Virginia, the VIR. That's only GT exclusive. Which might pose a great outcome to an exciting championship for that at the end. So there's 3 races to go on that. And of course, we have 4 races to go in the 12 race championship.
I got my pick.
Here, yours, Justin.
Okay, my pick. This team, they drive a Porsche 911 GT3R. They have experience. My pick is the Canadian team, Pfaff Motorsports. My pick is Zachary Robichon and Lawrence Vantor. I'm going to experience. That team is experienced, and they're good this season. So I feel like Pfaff Motorsports with Zachary Robichon's experience and Lawrence Vantor's experience, I feel like that number 9 entry is going to go to win in class at Laguna Seca.
I think they might just be the guys to beat.
Who's your pick?
I'm going to go ahead and say all right. So I'm going to take for this category. It's going to be tough, but I'm looking at car 39, the car bomb with Pig Green Racing, Audi R8 LMS GT3 Evo with Jeff Westphal, Richard Heisted. Jeff Westphal had a pretty disappointing race at the 24 Hours of Barcelona. I think he's going to want to turn that around. He's fast in the sprint races, especially as a committed Audi driver. I would expect to see great results out of him. Richard Heisted, he knows how to run these full races and keep it out of trouble. I wonder if we got any VLN 7 entries.
I'm trying to look. I almost clicked. I almost clicked participants. I almost signed up, but I'm not going to race in VLN. No. I don't have any. I don't have any money to race in there. I don't even know. Wait, no. Schedule.
Here, I'm just gonna look, see if any new posts came out. I don't think there's anything new from them. Last post from VLN was July 20th. We're just gonna have to find out ourselves to see who's on the entry list.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is a good end of the podcast, and
yeah, it's going to be interesting. All the races, we got 3 series at Richmond. Portland's going to have IndyCar, all the Indy like lower series, including Indy Lights. ARCA West is going to be at Portland for the Portland 112 on Saturday. We have Penny Series at Flamborough, Monza for F1 and F2. It's going to be interesting. IMSA at the Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca. Or WeatherTech Racing, sorry. WeatherTech. WeatherTech Raceway now. That's the new branding. It used to be Mazda Raceway. Now it's WeatherTech Raceway. So,
beautiful place.
Yep, beautiful track. I've raced on there.
We've all raced here in video games, haven't we?
Yeah, but I almost flipped over one somehow. I don't
hopped over the corkscrew the right way and the wrong way.
I once almost. Well, I somehow passed like I think 5 cars in the corkscrew in a supercar, in a V8 supercar on Forza 6. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting, the races this weekend. Yep, with Xfinity running Saturday afternoon, the Cup race Saturday evening. It's gonna be interesting.
All right. Well, I think this is a good time to end the podcast. It's been a long night.
Yep.
Thank you all for listening in to the podcast. We apologize for the extra day, but hope you all had a great holiday.
Yep.
My partner, Justin Hebner. I'm Joel Andy Pound. We're going to sign off. We'll see you guys next week for episode 128.
Yep.
See you next week.